What's up guys, TRayALLDay here and welcome to episode number 19 of my Fulham career mode series. And it's definitely been a while since I've uploaded one of these, I think about 2 weeks now. And you would know the reason why if you follow me on Twitter. I strongly suggest you do. It's at TRayALLDay as well if you just want to follow me that way. But the reason is, and I've talked about it several times before in different videos, it's my laptop. That is basically the only reason I can say. It is just so bad. So I got a new one. I don't think it's as great of quality of a laptop as my previous one, but it doesn't have as much of the issues as the other one had, of course, with the constant blue screening, etc, etc. So this one will be doing just fine for me for the time being, but either way, as you can see, we are currently in December. So the reason for that is, of course, since I had to get a new laptop, I didn't really have an external hard drive to store all my files, and I didn't have enough space on my Dropbox to store enough videos because I did record pretty heavily into the future, as you can see at the end of December, start of January. And I couldn't store all that stuff. So rather than just showing you guys maybe one episode and then just going straight to December, I thought I'd just go to straight December right away. So this episode will just be a recap video for you guys. If you want to see gameplay / transfers, I'd wait till the next episode. But if you want to know what happens in that, what is it, 3-month span since you guys last saw me, last saw this episode as well, last saw the series as well, inside the series itself, inside the career mode, then I strongly suggest you stay around for this one. But while I've been talking, you guys have probably been looking at the background of the screen, of course. So we're going to start off with the league table. As you can see, we currently sit 3rd, and that is mainly due to our form in the last 2 months. We were sitting around 15th to 12th for a lot of the season, and then around the end of November, we started to really pick up good form, and just, I don't think we've lost in our last like 5 or 6 games, and I don't think we've even drawn in our last 5 or 6 games. So we've been picking up the points. Crystal Palace, as you can see, it would probably be about 8 wins straight for me if I didn't lose to Crystal Palace, who sit 2nd in the league. Let's take a look at the table fully. Manchester United, Man City, Liverpool, and Everton all sit outside the top 7 of the Premier League, so it's definitely a very, very weird season so far. You guys also probably noticed, as our top scorer, Paul George Entep. He has been absolutely phenomenal this season. I believe only maybe 4 of those are from penalties. And if you take away those penalties, he'd still be the top scorer of the Premier League, and that is just fantastic from him. I signed him. I knew I had high hopes on him, and you know, he's definitely paid off. A lot of people have said, not a lot, but like maybe 2 or 3 people said after I signed him I overpaid for him. I don't think I did. I definitely think he's turned out to be worth it, but either way, he's been doing just fine. So we're going to move on and take a look at the squad report since you guys did miss it. We're going to go by position. Starting off with Ruben Blanco, our goalkeeper, of course. He has been asking for constant wage increases, and it bugs me because he hasn't been doing that great. 2 clean sheets is not great for a Premier League keeper. Granted, our defense isn't that great, but they're better than Ruben Blanco overall, that is. And there's his stats going up. Not that, no, nothing really going up, especially in his goalkeeping. Nothing's going up in his goalkeeping attributes, and if he wants a raise, he's going to have to be doing a lot better. 71 overall is not Premier League quality, so I'm not too certain about him at the moment. Of course, he does have some great potential, so I'm going to keep him anyway. Moving down, we got Walton, of course, has a decent potential as well. Only played in those 2 cup games, not too bad. Bettinelli has not played at all. Nothing going on with either of their attributes, which isn't too bad, I guess, but I'd really like to see some improvement on them. Bettinelli, not so much, but either way. Moving down, we got Fiorentin Pogba, who actually had to play some center mid this season, actually a lot of this season, and you will see why in a second. But looking at those stats, he's definitely got some good stats this season. Keeping above a 6 is, you know, average for a match rating, and he's kept above that, and just look at these stats going up. My God, his technicals have been going up fantastically well, and that is definitely a good sign for the future for him. Hutchinson, his partner in crime, has been doing very, very well as well. 91 strength with him and 87 for Pogba. That is just a great combination. We got Dan Burn as well. He is our 4th choice center back, actually, but you know, he hasn't been doing that great when he came in, but he does the job. He's tall. I believe he's like, what, 6'6" or something like that, and I basically just put him in at a substitute at the end of the game when all the teams just start launching in balls into the box, so he helps with that with 89 strength as well. Moving down, we got Liam Moore, our third choice center back, and also our second choice right back. He has been doing okay. As you can see, his match rating in the Premier League isn't that great, but I feel like he's actually been doing a lot better than what his match rating suggests, and look at all those stats going up as well. He has been playing, I think, phenomenally well for us, and he's been, you know, kind of a bright side of our defense thus far this season. Moving down, we got Donnelly, who only played in those 2 cup games, and he's going up pretty decently, but I'm not really looking forward to using him. I wouldn't mind if I sold him even. He's not that great of a player. Moving down, we got Dominguez, our scout future star, and just look at that. He's going up massively. I would have loved if he would have waited till May 1st before complaining about signing, because then his overall would probably be around 70-something right now, and he would probably be in our first team. Moving down, we got Eric Palmer-Brown, who is growing very nicely as well on loan at Coventry, and he looks very, very decent, of course. He was in our first team last season in the championship, but as of this season, he is going to be, you know, of course, he would just be a backup, and he's been doing very, very well. I'd love to see how he turns out in the future. Moving on, we got Masadio Haidar. Look at all those stats going up, man. He has just been absolutely fantastic in that left back position, and I'm definitely looking forward to see what the future holds with him. Moving on, we got Josh Gatt, who's been playing right back for us, and, you know, he fits that role very, very well with, I believe, medium-high work rates, so it works for him, and he's been doing very, very well. Like I said, he's been a bright spot in this team thus far this season. He's been very, very, you know, influential on the defensive end as well as the offensive end, and, you know, didn't cost us that much either. Moving down, we got Pat Roberts, who I haven't been playing that often. As you can see, only 12 appearances thus far, and I've been playing him a bit more recently, in fact, starting games a bit more recently in that right wing position, but he's been doing okay, not too bad, not too great. I wish he had a bit better technicals, because he's not that great at passing. Short passing's okay, but long passing I think needs to improve a bit, especially like crossing and whatnot. Crossing's only 63, so definitely needs to improve a bit on that end. But we got Matisse Bowley, he's been growing quite a bit as well, but as you can see by his match rating, he's been doing awful in the Premier League, so that is why he hasn't been playing that much in there. Plus, I think our other wingers are a bit better than him, so really he's been kind of just stuck in the reserves, which, you know, is too bad for him. But moving down, we got Tom Carroll, and this is the reason I talked about with Pogba having to step up into center midfield, because of course I did sign Tom Carroll to fill the void for Veretout when Veretout got injured, and basically a game after Tom Carroll got injured, and so disappointing, so disappointing. I signed him for a reason, and then he gets injured straight away, and as you can see, his attributes have gone down as well. That's normal for, you know, a player getting injured, but his overall went down as well, which is disappointing. So hopefully that goes back up. 2 assists already since coming back is pretty phenomenal. Moving down, we got Jordan Veretout, of course, 2 assists since coming back for him, and his stats have been growing and decreasing, of course, since he was injured as well. Moving down, we got Emerson Hindman, who, as you can see, he's been doing pretty decently. He's been in my starting 11. I have been playing him at cam quite a bit since Carroll and Veretout came back, and his technicals are going to be fantastic in the future, I think. They're going to be pretty good. At least his passing and his ball control will definitely be something good, something like, you know, you really, really want in a cam. He can dictate the game, and I think it'll be very, very good in the future, but as you probably saw by that news article on the front screen, and as you can see by the morale, he is homesick, and he's already demanded a move from the club, and the board said that they will be selling him. So yeah, it's probably the last you see of Emerson Hyndman. Very, very disappointing. He's probably the only reason I started this series, to be honest, with Fulham, because, of course, I do like seeing American prospects grow, and I would be giving the chance to manage one in Hyndman, but now he's probably leaving the club at only the age of 19, so that is disappointing. Moving down, we got Talisu, who I brought back on loan. I sent him out on loan to fix his potential glitch, but didn't work out for him. Had to bring him back after Veretout and Carroll got injured, so we had to bring him back after that happens. And he can also play right back as well, so I've been putting him in as a backup for Gatt as well, but we're probably going to be selling him just to get a bit of money in to help us with some free agents, but we'll take a look at that in a second. Nathan Redmond's been playing pretty decently as of late. Started off the season pretty slow, but not too much growth for him. We got Jack Grealish, who's only played 8 games and only gone up 1 attribute in aggression, and that is because of his match rating as well. It's been an awful form, and that is why he hasn't been playing that much. Player of the season last year to being really non-existent this year. We got George Williams, who's only played 1 game thus far, and his stats have gone up pretty immensely, but I haven't been using him that much because he just doesn't feel right. I don't know what it is. He can play striker though, so I might have to try him out there. Maybe that will help just a little bit. We got Gyau. I'm not too sure I want to keep him as of yet. Of course, we do have that future fee with him, but we will certainly see. Moving down, we got Eisfeld, who's been doing decently, gone down, of course, since his injury. We got Moussa Dembele, who I want to play a bit more often than I have been. Increasing pretty nicely. We got Wissam Ben Yedder. Very, very disappointing form for him, and I think I'm going to be selling him because, of course, we do lack a bit of squad depth. So I'd like to sell him and use that money to sign a bit of cheaper players as well as sign some players on free transfers to bring in. He has some very, very impressive stats, but for whatever reason, he has just been underperforming. And, I started to play him on the right wing like the last 3 or 4 games because of how bad he's been playing at striker, and I've been playing Entep at striker and Berahino at striker, and they've been playing 10 times better there than Ben Yedder has, so very unfortunate for him that he's probably going to be leaving after only being here for about a year now. And if he leaves, I think I'm going to bring in another striker, but Dembele, of course, could also fit in there nicely, as well as Berahino, Leia Seca, and Kali Woodrow. But Berahino's been doing very, very well, starting in that striker position a lot. It hasn't gone up that much, but very, very good. Leia Seca actually scored a goal in the Premier League. I think I gave him a start, actually, and he did pretty well in that game, growing pretty nicely, as well as Kali Woodrow. He hasn't made an appearance in the Premier League. He has made the bench a few times, but I like Dembele a bit more than him, but he still probably deserves a bit of game time in the Premier League based off of his form in the Capital One Cup. And then, of course, we got Paul-Georges Entep. My God, 16 goals in 18 games with 3 assists and 2 clean sheets. Of course, that doesn't really count, but 7.3 match rating for him, definitely the highest in the team. And look at all that stats going up. If he was 4-star skill moves, he would be the ultimate player for us. Ultimate player. He would be the best player in career mode for me, at least, because he has just been outstanding this season. 79 overall, already gone up +3. Of course, his potential is 80, and I definitely think he'll be outgrowing that. Of course, if you play well with them, they will outgrow their potential, and I've been playing absolutely terrifically with Paul-Georges Entep. So, either way, let's take a look at our short list for the time being, because we do have a bit of players we want to bring in. We've got Daniel Batts, who I can bring in on a free transfer for next season, because Blanco isn't the highest rated. Of course, Batts is only 4+ overall points better than him, but he has some pretty cheap wages, and I can afford him, and he'd be better for us in the Premier League as a keeper. But Blanco still for the future. We got Sorg, who would just be a bit of fullback cover in all honesty. Can get him on a free as well. Kone I can get on a free as well, would be our best center back, but he is 27 years of age, so it remains to be seen how long he will be, how long he'll have left of growing. We've got Neil Taylor, again, fullback cover. He does have some pretty hefty wages, though. I believe it's 40,000 pounds, that is. But we got Andre Martins, of course, also available on a free. He is 75 overall. For whatever reason, they deleted my scout report of him. 75 overall for him, and I will definitely be signing this guy on a free transfer. He'd fit in perfectly. Veretout, Martins, and then maybe even him playing Cam would just be fantastic for us. And then moving down, we got Abid. I won't be signing this guy, but he is a glitch player in career mode. He doesn't have the greatest potentials. It should be going up soon after his recent performances in the Premier League in real life, but he's a glitch player in career mode if you didn't know. 32,000 on the valuation. That was their inquiry of him. Look at all those stats. My goodness. He looks very impressive. He's only like 65 after at the beginning of career mode, but I think he's at least 80 as of right now, so we're going to remove him from the short list. But moving on for our strikers, like I said, if I sell Ben Yedder, I'd like to bring in a striker. Harry Kane would be a great one to bring in, of course, English, so it would be helping the club out in that aspect of the game. We got Henri Saive, who would be a great signing. Of course, starts out at Bordeaux, moved to Parma in game, and then Jordan Ayew from Lorient, formerly of Marseille. Again, not too sure about which one I'd sign. I think preferably Kane, just because he's the youngest of all of them. But if I can get the cheapest one, I'd take easily. I'd prefer to get them for at least 4 million or less, because Ben Yedder, of course, is valued at around 12 million. So then I could still afford to bring in some players on some free transfers. But either way, that's it for that aspect. The only other thing I believe I have left to show you is our youth academy. We signed Harrison Johnson, who is 16 years of age already. So if he asks to get out of the youth squad in like a month or so. I'm going to be very upset because he doesn't have the greatest overall, so we won't be growing that fast. But Tor Andre Nilsson, if he asks, I won't be too upset. I'd prefer, he's of course not 16 yet, but I prefer him to wait till May 1st because of course that's when their overall does grow. So his overall would probably grow to around 63 to 73, and that's perfectly fine. In that case, if he does, I won't be bringing back Gyau for next season, excuse me. But either way, I believe that's all I have to show you guys. Nothing really else I have to show you guys. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section. I will answer that. Make sure that you do have replies set on your account if you're asking me a question, because I noticed some of you don't have that set, so I can't reply to your comments if you don't have that set. So yeah, make sure you have your account set to that, because I see a lot of you guys leaving suggestions or comments, and I can't reply to your comments when I would like to, but I believe that is it. We'll get a lot of things covered in the next episode when we go through the January transfer window. Of course, we're going to be requesting some funds, going to be sorting out some contracts, etc., etc. So yeah, I believe that is it for this episode. I can't thank you guys enough for 800 subscribers. I thought I'd throw that in there. We're only 200 away from my goal when I started YouTube, and 1,000's all I've ever wanted when I started YouTube, and that's all I'll ever want. Even if I surpass 1,000, that's fine, but 1,000 is all I've ever wanted on YouTube, and I'd be fully happy if I didn't gain one more subscriber and I was just stuck at 1,000. I'd be extremely happy with that. But regardless, I'm extremely sorry I could not put out other episodes of this and just had to skip straight to the beginning of January. I'm extremely sorry for that, but there's nothing much I could do about it. So I do apologize, but I hope you guys enjoyed it nonetheless. My name is TRayALLDay, and I'm out.